Hello, welcome to another introductory piano lesson. We were working on inversions the last time. This time, I think it'd be fun to go over more of the broad spectrum of scales. And scales are kind of an interesting way to think about music, theoretically speaking, because when we're dealing with scales, we're dealing with the way, because if you don't think about scales, it's just you have this giant piano here. What do we do with it? Well, we bang around on the keys. Which can actually come for some interesting results if you space your fingers appropriately. You can kind of make music out of an entire new spectrum without even thinking about scales. But I think sometimes it's good to have a structured framework with which we work in the music. And one of the ways of doing that is to think of music in terms of scales. And scales are, we're going to limit what we play within these certain scales. So of course you know the C scale. And because we worked on that earlier. And the fingering of all these scales, there's a lot of different websites that'll show you all the fingering and everything. My job is to talk to you about it so that you understand it from a theoretical framework and how to deal with the piano. So with these scales, we have only those set of notes that we're playing. Now we can kind of create a scale in any way we want. We can say, because if we look at everything in terms of semitones, I'm going to bring you closer to the piano here. If we look at everything in terms of semitones, up one semitone, up one semitone, up one semitone, up one semitone, down one semitone, down one semitone, down one semitone, down one semitone. Let's say we make a scale called Farnzappel. Okay, so Farnzappel is a scale which we have only those notes. It's going up one semitone, up one semitone, up one semitone, up one semitone, and then it goes up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to begin the process again. But I'm accidentally hitting other notes. And now if I were to just kind of experiment with this new scale that we've invented called Farnswappel, we would go through it like this. All we're doing is playing those notes within the entire piano. So that's how we can think of these scales, is that we're limiting ourselves to certain notes within the entire spectrum of the piano that we're playing. And we're only going to play those notes throughout the entire piano. So let me give you another example here. So let's say we have the notes C, C sharp, D, D sharp, and E. Those are all of the notes contained within the scale Farnsworple. So can we play, let's say, this note right here? The answer is no, we cannot, because this note is a G, and it is not contained, it is not a C, C sharp, D, D sharp, or E. So we can't play G, because it's not one of these notes. So G is not within the scale of Farnsworple. But we can we play this note, way down here? The answer is yes, because that note is a C sharp. So even though we're saying we're creating the scale within here, because we're saying it's within those notes, that's pretty much what a scale is. It goes throughout down here. If there is a C, you can play those, play those, you can play those. And you can pretty much play it in any kind of a rhythm you want. And that's another fun thing about piano, is that we can make cool rhythms. So I'm going to kind of demonstrate some different rhythms here. If we now, playing different rhythms is very different than playing different beats per minute. You can also do that as well, switch up the beats per minute within your song, however you like. First, I'll go over rhythm. So rhythm is like, if we play an arpeggio. Playing an arpeggio of C, C5, or C5, C3, 5, because once again, C is the 1, 2, D is 2, E is 3, so we're playing 1, 3, F is 4, G is 5, A is 6, this one right here is 6, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, don't get 6 confused with the fingering number, because on the hand, like we said, this is 1 in the right hand at least. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is each one of these individual fingers. Let me try again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now going back to here, we have 1, 1, 2, 3.